Hi, Kennedy. It's Miss Tracy. So let's look at these two problems. I'm a little bit sick today, but let's look at these two problems that you have. The first one is this intersection of three lines. We have to find the values of x and y. So there's a couple, well, I'd say there's only really one thing that you have to know for sure in order to find the values of x and y. And that one thing is that a straight line is going to measure from here to here. It's always going to measure 180 degrees, right? From here to here is always 180 degrees, and that's a principle that you're going to use. So first, we're going to measure, let me get a yellow line. We're going to say from here to here, because this is the same line, these all added together are going to equal 180 degrees. So we're going to do that first. We're going to add everything within these three angles together to get this 180, which is this line. So 20x plus 5y plus 40 plus 2x plus 5y. All of that added together should be 180. So now we're going to simplify that by putting like terms together. So we get 22x plus 10y plus 40 is equal to 180. So let's subtract 40 from both sides just to get all of our like terms together. 22x plus 10y is equal to 140. So that becomes the value or the equation for what I call the yellow arc, or this yellow line right here. This is the line that we calculated. All three of these angles included there has to equal or equals this right here. So now let's look at a pink arc. So this time we're going to look at this line and the angles that are included in it. And those are going to be from here all the way to here. So those three, if I write them down, I'm going to do that down here. We've got 40 degrees plus 2x plus 5y plus 110 is equal to 180. So that's all three of those. This one, and this one, that makes the pink line. And the pink line, the degree of measure there is 180. So now we can simplify that. We're going to add 40 and 110. We get 2x plus 5y plus 150 is equal to 180. So then we can subtract 150 from both sides. We get 2x plus 5y is equal to 30. So now we have this pink line. There's our pink line value. So now we have two of these that we can compare to one another. Now it looks like something that you can do with substitution or elimination, right? So I am going to use elimination. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, let me move this over. I'm going to move this here, and then I'm going to multiply this whole thing times -2. And I'm going to write it here. I'm going to use elimination for this first step. -2 times 2x is -4x. -2 times positive 5y is a -10y. And -2 times 30 is -60. So now I can use elimination, and I know that positive 10, -10 cancels each other out. And then 22 minus 4, that's going to be 18x, is equal to 80. So if I divide both sides by 18, the only thing I could do is reduce it because this doesn't divide into whole numbers. So I'm going to reduce this by 2 and say 40 over 9. That's the value of x. That's as far as I can go with that. So that's what I would put in here for x, 40 over 9. For y, I'm just going to substitute. I'm going to take this this smaller one right here, and I'm going to substitute in here because just the numbers are smaller, so it's easier to calculate. So for x, I'm going to put in 40 over 9 plus 5y is equal to 30. Just whatever's in the pink line right there. So it would be 80 over 9 plus 5y is equal to 30. But this 30, I'm going to turn it into a value over 9. So 9 times 30 is 270. So 270 over 9. So now I can subtract 80 over 9 from both sides. 5y is equal to, and let's see, that would be 190 over 9. Now let's see. If I divide both sides by 5, that would be the same thing as multiplying by the inverse fraction. So I'm just going to do the fraction here. Since I have a fraction here, it makes it easier to solve. And I'm just going to multiply by the inverse fraction, which is the same thing as dividing by 5. So those cancel. And I have y is equal to 190 over 9 times 5. And the reason I'm writing it like this and not writing 45 is because I know this is divisible by 5. So I'm just going to pull up my calculator and I'm going to see what it is. All right, so 190 divided by 5 is 38. So I can rewrite that. Like 38 times 5 so that I can factor out the 5s. So y is equal to 38 over 9. So that's going to be my value for y. So I write that just like that. And I'm going to check it. Let's check it. So this was, let me get my fraction pulled up. That first one was 40 over 9. And then the second one was 38 over 9. And when I check it, it's correct. They're both correct. So let's move on to the next problem that you had. It was this one. So I'm going to take a screenshot just for the sake of pulling it over. I can get that to drop in. Apparently not. So we'll do that again. All right, there it goes. All right, we're going to solve for this system. So the thing that I see here is that I can make a substitution with this. And I'm going to do that by subtracting NO from both sides. So that's going to give me the value of NN is equal to 60 minus NO. So now I have a substitution value that I can put into the next problem. So I'm going to say 5, and then the value of NN is this. So 60 minus NO plus 10 times NO is equal to 310. So I just took this value here and substituted this value that I rewrote in for the NN. That's all I did. Now I should be able to solve for NO. So this is 5 times 60, that's 300. This would be negative 5 NO. Now I'm going to subtract 300 from both sides. These would cancel. I'm going to combine these two like terms. So it's going to be 5NO is equal to 10. So NO is equal to 2. So 2 would go right here. So now I'm just going to go back to this statement here where it said NN plus NO equals 60, and then we rewrote NN is equal to 60 minus NO. So I'm just going to substitute in the value for NO. So 60 minus 2 is equal to 58. So NN is equal to 58. So that's what would go here, 58. So let's go back over here to the, if I can get there. There we go. So NN is 58 and NO is 2. If we check it, they're correct. All right, so that is the ones that you were stuck with. You've got to just remember, sometimes it's about perspective. Sometimes it's about how you can see the problem and figure out a way to solve it. So it's not always just solving it straight. Sometimes you have to adjust or manipulate or rearrange to get it into the format that will help you solve it. And that's all I have, and I will see you on Thursday.